mind if you come and sit on top of it. So since we have a smaller crowd today, I guess everyone's getting ready for Thanksgiving. So today we have a guest lecture. You all know Ping Fan, of course. And so Ping Fan's going to give us a lecture about streaming algorithms. He'll tell you more about the importance and the basic concepts and some nice cool tricks. And streaming algorithms itself is a huge area. Again, one of those topics that, and you've heard me say this ad nauseum, you could do a whole course on this, and yes, you could. But there's in fact a book on this. But it's very important that in this class, especially as we continue our discussion of how the size and scale of data has challenged our algorithmic thinking. I cannot imagine going away from this class and not hearing something about streaming algorithms. And so there we have it. And I'll have a few words to say after, before the lecture ends. So we'll try to end around noon, and then we'll have a few words to say about that, about what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Okay. All right. So without further ado, I'll give you the pen. All right.
Okay, in today's lecture we discuss streaming algorithms. I will introduce two basic and important data stream algorithms, AMI sketch and the Compton sketch. If we have more time, I will talk something about the Bloom filter. In the previous lectures, as we know, we usually assume all of data is available when we want it. But now we will make another assumption. The data arrives in a stream or streams, and if it's not processed immediately, the data will go away forever. Moreover, we shall assume the data arrives so rapidly that it's not feasible for us to store it in a conventional database and then interact with it at the time of our choosing. So this means when the data arrives, we must process it in time. And while we process the current data, we don't know the rest of the data in the stream. So let's first see some examples. The first example is sensor data. Imagine a data with a GPS unit in the ocean. It sounds like the ocean surface height to a base station. Since the surface height usually changes very quickly, so we require the sensor send back the data, send back the readings 10 times per second. If we use 4 bytes to represent a reading, then we shall have 3.5, about 3.5 megabytes per day. 3.5 megabytes are not very large, but this is only for one sensor. So there's something about the ocean behavior. We need to deploy 1 million sensors, and each sending back a stream at the rate of 10 per second. Thus, we shall have 3.5 terabytes per day. So it's definitely, we definitely need to think how to process and store this data. Another example is image data. Satellites often send down to Earth streams consisting of many terabytes of streams, consisting of many terabytes of images per day, because the resolution of satellite photos or images is usually very high. Unlike satellites, surveillance cameras produce images with relatively low resolution, but there could be many of them. The city of London itself will have more than 6 million such cameras, and they each produce a data stream of images at intervals like 1 second. So you can imagine how large the data is. The internet and web traffic. Websites receive streams of various types. For example, Google receives several billion searches per day, and Yahoo accepts billions of clicks on its various sites every day. Many interesting things can be discovered through learning these streams. For example, an increase in the search queries like source road enables us to check the spread of some viruses. And some increase in the click rate of a link may indicate some news connected to that link. It could also mean this link is broken and needs to be repaired. So now we can summarize the model from this from the previous examples. The data stream model. There are M elements, and they come from a domain with size n, where both M and n are very large integers. And we don't want to use omega m or omega n space because they are very, very large. Typically, we use a streaming processing engine to scan the sequence and read each item once, saw something in the streaming synopsis in the memory, and then let this item go forever. For some query queue, we output an approximate answer with the error guarantees. So formally, there is a sequence A, when it contains M items, and each item AI is an element in the set N. Our goal is to compute a function J, maybe approximately, but only use space, that is the polynomial of log n and log n. The frequency moment. A stream can define a frequency distribution. Give a stream A with AI in the set N. Let Fi be the number of times that item I is seen in this stream. Fi is called the frequency of item I. For example, in this data stream, here there are seven items, and so M is 7 and N is 5. The item 1 only appears once, so F1 here, F1 is 1. The item 2 appears 2 times, so F2 is 2. This is similar for F3 and F4, F5. So you know this definition. We define the sum of Fi to decay as the case frequency moment of the stream. Here, k is an integer greater than or equal to 0. For example, F0 is a number of distinct elements in the stream. Here we define the 0 to the 0 is 0. So you know if Fi is if Fi is at least 1, then Fi to 0 is 1. So F0 is the number of distinct elements in the stream. And F1 is the total number of elements we have seen. And F2 is the second order frequency moment. It's the sum of squares of the frequencies. F2 is sometimes called the surprise number, since it measures how uneven the distribution of elements in the stream is. For example, suppose we have a stream of length 100. In this stream, at most 10 different elements appear. So n is 10. Each element, there are two cases. In the first case, each element appears 10 times. So Fi is 10, and the second frequency moment is 1000. But in the other case, in this extreme case, one element appears 100 times, and the other 9 elements never appears. So in this case, for some Fi is 100, and the second order frequency moment is 10,000 times. It's very large. So if the second order frequency moment F2 is very large, it means the distribution of elements in this stream is very uneven. Now we can talk something. We can introduce this algorithm, AMS Sketch. AMS Sketch is an algorithm by these 3 people in 1996 to estimate the second frequency moment. Yeah.
So this F2 on the previous slide, it's a surprise
Previous
number,
slide.
right?
This one.
So F2 is a surprise number,
Yes.
and it measures as in how uneven the distribution. It's essentially the 2 norm, right? Sum of squares for all the frequencies.
Sorry.
F2, what is F2?
F2, this one. F2 is the second frequency moment.
Yeah, how do we calculate that? Sum of squares, right? Isn't that very much skewed to since where any outlier will make it large? So since it's the sum of the squares, so we have some outlier frequency in the data. What is the significance of F2?
It can measure how uneven the distribution of the elements in the stream. When we compute F2, if the result F2 is very large, it means some elements or a few elements may appear many times in the stream, and some other elements may never appear or appear.
How robust is this measure? Is it a very robust measure to compute?
Robust.
Any outlier?
What do you mean by robust?
So a few outliers can throw the measure of 2 different settings can give you similar F2 values. That's
what. You mean 2 different streams? They have the same F2 value.
Yes.
In this case, we can say, I think we can say the distribution of elements in these 2 streams are similar.
Always. We are with some very high probability.
Yes, but I haven't seen some theoretical research on this.
So I think they're confusing L2 and F2. So you're thinking of robustness in the case of computing the L2 norm or something and one outlier. What would be an outlier? An outlier would be an element that is very, very frequent.
Yes.
That's not an outlier.
That's not how.
You're doing the sum of the frequencies, not the sum of the positions.
Yes, some of the frequencies.
So the notion of outlier that you apply for a squared norm calculation doesn't really apply here. What this is sensitive to high frequency items. If you have one, as Ping-Fan said, if one item is very high frequency, that will dominate the term. That's the sense of being sensitive to single elements. But those elements are not outliers, right? So
outlier in terms of.
yeah, the term outlier is kind of a misnomer here.
Okay.
makes more sense when you think of just L2 with the plane.
So this is actually trying to find what he was calling outliers, right? It's supposed to identify that we do have dominating frequencies.
Big fun?
Sorry.
So F2 is trying to find dominating frequencies. So if you have a dominating frequency or a dominating set of frequencies, then F2 would be much larger than F1. Right?
Yes. Let's continue to talk about AMI sketch. The intuition of this algorithm is to use a randomized linear projection of the frequency vector to define a random variable x. And x should satisfy these two conditions. First, it should be easily computed over the string in small space. Just as I mentioned, the data arrives very rapidly, very quickly. So this x should be easily computed and in small space. Moreover, x should satisfy the expected value of x is f2, and its variance, the variance of x is small enough. So we can use x as an approximate value to the second order frequency. Here, the randomized linear projection. What does it mean? It means we generate a random vector and compute the inner product of f and this random vector. This inner product is the random linear projection of f. We will see this later. The algorithm pick a random hash function, sigma, from a four-wise independent family. What's the meaning of four-wise independent family? I will explain this later. Now you only need to know we pick a random hash function. It maps element n to 1 or minus 1. The vector, we define the vector sigma with a vector with sigma I equals to the image of I. So initially this algorithm sets x as 0, and when an item arrives, for example, when AI arrives, we compute sigma AI and add it to x. Finally, we return the square of x as an approximation of f2. So
Software problems.
So let's say a simple example. Assume this is a string. It's 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So you can count the number. F is M is 15, and here N is 4. And we define a hash function. H1 times H3 times H4 plus 1. But H2 is minus 1. It's minus. So the item 1 appears 5 times, so F1 is 5. F2 is 4, and F3 is 3. Minus 3. So the second order frequency moment is 5 squared plus 4 squared plus 5. It's 59. And the algorithm X is F1. F1 minus F2 plus F3 and F4. This is this is 7. So S squared is 49. We output I squared as an approximation of F2. Here, in this example, you can see the X is just the inner product of the vector sigma and the frequency vector I. Right.
We just hash it randomly.
Yes. If we pick another hash function, usually we will get a different result. This is for this hash function. For this hash function, if we pick another hash function, the result will be different. So why does this algorithm work? Just like I said, X is the inner product of sigma and the frequency vector I. And here, sigma is a random variable based on the choice of the random hash function sigma. When we have chosen a hash function sigma, then the sigma is fixed. But before we choose this hash function, we don't know the value of sigma. So it can be viewed as a random variable. Since the probability that sigma is 1 or minus 1 are equal, the expected value of sigma is 0. And the expected value of sigma squared is 1 for all items in the site, because sigma squared is always 1. Right? Recall we choose the hash function sigma from a four-wise independent family. Here, the four-wise independent family means if we randomly choose a hash function sigma from this family, then the sigma, sigma j, sigma k, and sigma l are independent from each other if I, j, k, and l are different from each other. This is the meaning of forward independent time. Because there are 4 items. So we can use this property to compute the expected value of our output. The expected value of output is this one. We just plug in this function of x and expand this the sum of this square. There are 2 terms. There are 2 terms. For the first term, we use the property of expected value. It should be the expected value of sigma I square. Sigma I square. The expected value of sigma I square is 1. So here the first term it's just the second frequency moment. And for the second term, for this term, the expected value of sigma I and sigma j is the expected value of sigma I times the expected value of sigma j, because I and j are different, and sigma I and sigma j are independent. Use this condition, the above condition. So here, this one is 0, this one is 0. So the second term is 0. And the result is only F2. So the expected value of our output is just F2, the second frequency moment. This is only some commutation. Now we need to estimate the variance of our output. Use a definition of variance. The variance of x squared is the expected value of this term. We expand the square and obtain the expected value of x4 minus the square of f2. So we need to compute the expected value of f4. Since the expected value of sigma I is 0, and sigma I, sigma j, sigma k, sigma l are independent from each other if the indices are different from each other. So the expected value of sigma I, sigma j, sigma k, and sigma l is 0 if there is an index among I, j, k, or l that occurs exactly once in the set. Otherwise, this value is 1. If it's 1, then there are 2 cases. All the indices are the same, or there are 2 distinct indices that occurs twice each. So, do I need to explain this? Or
Give us some example.
okay. Sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. This should be 0 because it's equal to sigma and sigma 3. this one is 0. Sigma only appears one time. In this case, it's 0. We view sigma as a random variable, and this part, another random variable. They are independent from each other. So this is one case. The other case is in this case, over here is 1, right? Here. Another case is this one. In this case, it's also 1. So in all other cases, the expected value is 0. So the expected value of x4, we just expand this term. It's the sum of all these items. So, as I have said, here there are only 2 cases. This value is not 0. The first case, all the indexes all the indexes are the same. The first case, and the second case is there are 2 distinct indexes that occur twice each. So there are 4 indexes. We choose 2 from 4, and choose 2. So this is the coefficient, and I and G are different. So we can make this, do this sum. The first term, this term is 1. So the first term is just F4. And the second term, since this is 1, and n to 3 is 6, the directed commutation tells us this is 6 times this sum. So the variance of xy, we use this result in the first equation. Plus this in the first equation. The variance of x squared is x4 minus the square of x2, and this term, and this term. Here, this term is equal to this one. It's equal to this one. So here, when we explain this, why this one is equal to this.
To me, it's not very obvious.
This is obvious.
It's not obvious.
It's not obvious.
Is it obvious to anyone else?
square. And this is here is a matrix. Here is a matrix, n by n. And the sum is the first term is a sum of elements in the upper triangle of this matrix. So we can compute the sum of all elements in this matrix, and then minus the sum of elements in the diagonal. This the diagonal. Since this matrix is symmetric, it's symmetric matrix. So
Big fun. Your hand is touching the tablet.
So this is the twice of this term. This is the sum of elements on the diagonal. So here, this term is this one is the second order frequency moment f2. So here is f2 squared minus f4. And a simple commutation tells us this term is less than twice f2 squared. So we have obtained the expected value of f squared and an upper bound of the variance of x squared. But this variance is not, this upper bound is not very small. It's not small enough because we only use one hash function. So we can pick t-independent random hash functions, sigma I, from this 4y independent family. And then we obtain random variables, x1, x2 till xt. They are independent from each other. We define a random variable y as the mean value of xi squared. Then we have the expected value of y is at f2, and the variance of y is less than or equal to 4t times f2 squared. This is use the property of variance. So from the Chebyshev inequality, we can obtain a lower bound of this probability. Here, the second inequality is just a Chebyshev inequality. Use variance, this one. And the first inequality is because this event implies this event. Because the variance of y is at most is less than or equal to 2 over t times f2 times the square. So this event implies this event. So the probability should be smaller. We let k equals to 1 over the square root of delta, and then obtain this log bound. It means if we use y as our output, it means we can obtain 1 plus epsilon approximation twice 2 with probability at least 1 minus that. The space usage of this algorithm. We need local space to solve xi. Because because the maximum value of xi may be I. Just in the previous example, is one item. One item appears m times. An extreme case, and we need one space to solve a hash function sigma I, because we need to solve. We need to at least need to solve an item in the string to process it. So it may be at the n. So we use local n bits to solve it. So the total space usage is all t times alpha plus alpha. And here t, our definition t is this one. So this is the total usage of the space. Let's say application of this algorithm. The second frequency moment represents the size of the self-joint. So if you have learned the database course, you know what's the self-joint. An example of a self-joint query is to find all pairs of two employees with the same attributes, like country, stored in the same large table. For example, in this table, it may be very large. Then for this query, if there are only five records in this table, then the root code is 2 squared plus 1 plus 2 squared. The result should be 9. So this result is the second frequency moment of this string, the country of this string. So if it's a very, very large table, we can use this algorithm, AI-MySky, to obtain an approximate value of this query.
let's take a 3-minute break. Let's take a 3-minute break.
Oh.
Are you covered for one?
I just have like an hour.
So which one
Oh, you're just,
special session for 5?
I guess I just.
No, actually, okay, you were doing
Yeah.
that's why you wanted to cover the.
Yeah, because we're doing
Yeah, okay, I actually was gonna go in there and cover it.
go early.
When I left, I could only cover one of them. I was gonna, I should be here by 11.
That doesn't matter. Joe's thoughts.
Were you gonna cover both, going for both instead of one?
But then that doesn't swap with that, and does swap with that.
Why don't you,
We should start.
still log in?
All right, let's continue.
Some people may want to look at the TV. Just log in.
So let's continue. The next algorithm is the count-min sketch. The count-min sketch algorithm is proposed by these two people in 2005 to estimate the frequencies of items in a string. The frequency of an item they have known is the number of times that this item is seen in the string. As we have learned in the AMI sketch, the sketching data structure stores a summary of a data set. In the situation that the data is very large, and the whole data would be prohibitively costly to store in the memory. The sketching data structure can answer some certain questions about the data very efficiently, but at the price of the occasional error. The best part of this structure is that although there may be some errors occasionally, but the probability of an error can be quantified, and the programmer can trade off the error rate with the amount of resources avoided. Resources means storage over time. This algorithm starts with t-independent random hash functions, h1, h2 till ht, and each hash function maps an element in the set n to an element in the set t. With our matrix with t rows and k columns, t is log 1 over delta and k is 2 over epsilon. Both delta and epsilon are two small positive constants. So initially, the algorithm sets all elements in this matrix are 0. We let our Cij equals to 0. And when an item arrives, we compute HJAI for each hash function, and then add 1 to the element Cj HJAI to this element. We update this element in the matrix. So after we have processed all the items in the string, for query FQ, we output FQ height as the minimum value of Cj HJQ as an approximation for FQ. Here we can see a concrete example. For example, we assume T is 3, K is 4. So we have 3 hash functions, and the matrix is 3, 1, 1, 7, 3, 7, 3, 7, 4. So we start this matrix, 3 rows and 4 columns. For example, if an item AI arrives, we compute H1 AI. For example, it's 2. 2 AI. For example, it's 3. H1 AI is 2, so we update this entry in the matrix. We add 1 to H2 AI is 3, so we update this entry. The plus 1. And H3 AI is 1, so we update this entry, the first column. So then the item AI is processed. And for the next item, AI plus 1, we repeat this process, update the matrix. So after all the items are processed, for item Q, for example, if Q is equal to AI, FQ, output FQ height and the minimum value of C1, 2, C3. We output the minimum value of these three entries as an approximation of FQ. So this is the algorithm. The analysis of let's analyze this algorithm. For any fixed Q in the set N, over this we have FQ is at this, FQ height is at this FQ, because each counter has everything for Q. But this counter may contain some other stuff due to hash collision, because the hash function may map some other items to a counter. It means HQ and for example HQ and HG may have the same value. So your FQ height is greater than FQ. But so this is the lower bound of FQ height. What's the upper bound? To get an upper bound of FQ height, we define these random variables. Yij. If HIQ is equal to HIJ, then we define Yij as Fj, the frequency of the item J. Otherwise, we define Yij as 0. Here we should note the Q. The item Q is fixed. It's a fixed item. Yes, it's a fixed item. For Ig, J is also fixed, and we randomly, Hi is chosen randomly. So this random variable is produced by the random hash function Hi. If we have chosen Hi, then Yj should be fixed. Either HIQ is equal to HIJ or is not equal to HIJ. And we define Xi as the sum of Ij except the term J is equal to Q. So we have FQ height is equal to FQ plus the minimum value of Xi. This is because Ci HIQ is equal to FQ plus Xi. And we output the minimum value of this. Yes. Because if Hi yes, this sub indices function. It record all the frequencies which Hij equals to HIQ. Here, this can be obtained from the definition of Xi. If you think this is difficult to understand, you can use a simple example. you should know. So the probability that Yij is Fj is the probability that Hiq is equal to Hij. This is 1 over k, because this is from the property of hash functions. So the expected value of Yij is just Fj over k. Direct computation. Use this equation, we can compute the expected value of xi. The expected value of xi is a definition here. And we use the property of expected value. It's the sum of E Yij for those j is not equal to q. Here, use the previous result. E Yij is Fj over k. So we'll obtain this one. Since this sum, in this sum there's no F2. There's no F2 in this sum. So it's less than 1 over k times F1. Because k is 2 over epsilon, so it's equal to epsilon over 2 after epsilon times F1. So we obtained the upper bound of the expected value of xi. And so we can use Markov inequality. The probability that xi is at least epsilon times f1 is less than exi over epsilon f1. Here should, I think there may be a typo. It should be less than or equal to. So the upper bound of the probability that xi is at least epsilon times 1 is 1/2. So this is for one hash function for any fixed I. And recall, FQ height is FQ plus the minimal value of xi. This implies the probability that FQ height minus FQ is at least epsilon times f1. It's the probability that minimal value of xi is greater than or equal to epsilon times f1. The first equality is obvious, and here this event, the minimal value of xi is greater than or equal to epsilon times f1. Means for any I, xi is at least epsilon times f1. And if for any I in the set T, xi is at least epsilon f1, then the minimal value of xi should be at least epsilon times f1. So these two events are equivalent. These two events are equivalent, and they have the same probability. So here because xi, x1, x2, txt are independent from each other. So this probability is a product of probability xi greater than or equal to epsilon f1. We use independence. So we have obtained an upper bound for this probability. The upper bound is 1/2. So here, this upper bound is 1 over 2 to the t, and it's delta, the definition of t. So for the continuous sketch, algorithm for any cube with a finite query f cube, it outputs f cube height, and the f cube height is between f cube and f cube plus epsilon f1. The first inequality is always correct. F cube height always greater than or equal to f cube. And for the second inequality, it holds with a probability at least 1 minus that. Because the probability that f cube height is greater than this term is less than delta. So this probability, the probability of this event is at least 1 minus delta. So it means we cannot say the continuous sketch always outputs a correct, a good approximate value, but it can output a good approximate value with high probabilities. The space usage of this algorithm. There are KT counters because the matrix have K rows and have T rows and K columns, so there are KT counters in the algorithm, and each counter requires log n space. So the total counter space is KT log n. Here why each counter requires log n space. We can, just like our analysis in the AMI sketch, we can assume there is only one item in the string. So yes, so for some counters, their value will be m. After the algorithm, their value will be m, and for some other counters, their value will be 0. So log m space is upper bound. We also need to store t-hash functions, and each takes the log n space because it needs to process the item in the stream, and the one item in the stream can take log n space. So the overall space, there are t-hash functions. So the overall space is all t times k log n plus log n, and the result is rho of log 1 over delta times over epsilon log n plus log n. This is the usage of the space. So here we can see if we decrease delta and epsilon, we can obtain a better result. It means we can output more accurate result with a very, very high probability. But the price is we need to use more space. So this is some properties of many streaming algorithms. So I think we can stop here. So I think we can stop here today.
You have any questions?
And yeah, any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So some of the examples you gave us at the beginning of class, like images streaming from satellites,
Yeah.
you know, things that I can think of as examples, things like, you know, cell phones and satellite images, we need to keep all of that data. What's an example of something that you would only want to keep, you know, this kind of information about?
So what makes you think you keep all the satellite data? You think they actually keep it? They don't.
No, I mean the image data.
They don't
say,
keep it.
Google Earth.
They don't keep it. I mean, the telescopes that are staring out into space
Yeah.
and scanning data, they're not keeping it. They're throwing it away.
Space, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good example.
Yeah.
So that answers my question.
And even the cell phone data, I don't think anyone has the resources to keep all the cell phone data lying around. That's your defense against, ultimately your defense against the NSA is that it just costs a lot to store. That's the only one you have. They don't store it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Another example is a router, a network router. It's doing processing on the data as on the packets, and then it has to throw it away. There's not much room on the router to store information.
Yeah.
So that's another sort of classic example that's given for this guy.
Okay.
And I have a 2-minute thing I want to talk to you about, but let's not don't go yet. So the other, I mean, in general, I think one of the things that has happened with streaming over the years is that it first started with, okay, we have this network router and we now store the information, what do we do? It has transcended that original application to be more like, what can we do if we only want to spend a little bit of space? So even if you have the ability to store everything, what can you do in one pass over it with just storing a little bit of local space? So it's become an algorithmic design paradigm more than just something for a specific application. And so the techniques that show up in streaming, like the sketches, are showing up in places where you don't need to sketch, or you don't need to stream. But it becomes so fast, because just to one pass you can do something. There's just so many awesome things you can do just with one pass, why not just do that? And so it's become much more than just a specific application for specific problems. And that's why I think we teach it in algorithms class, that it's a design paradigm. Just like divide and conquer, just like 3D algorithms, sketching, streaming is a design principle. And you should keep that in your mind as a design tool you can use. Thanks, Ping Fun. So one thing I want to say, so of course next Thursday is Thanksgiving and we have 4 lectures after that. And at this point, essentially, in terms of material I want to teach you for the course that you are going to be evaluated on, we're done. Even some of this I may not cover. The next assignment will have linear programming, a little bit of this, but not much. So, I mean, I have 4 lectures, and what I normally do is I just cover sort of random topics, fun topics, things like that. The other option, which is also available, is to not do a lecture. So in other words, give you time to sort of think over your assignments, work on your project, and have the class time be essentially extra office hours. So I have essentially, along with the regular Thursday office hours, I have 4 extra office hours during the class time. You can just show up and ask about the project report, which I'm still worried about, that I hope you're working on, and assignments and other things you may have to do. So we can do it either way, or we can do some mixture. We have 2 lectures and then we have 2 more. I'd like to know what you all would like to do. Any thoughts people have on this matter? Yeah.
What topics are being considered for the lectures?
Oh, I just do freeform. So in the past, and I'm not saying I do any of these things, in the past I have covered, let's see, quantum computing is probability with negative numbers. That's what the title is now. I've done that. How to, one time I did, a whole lecture on how to cut a cake, which is actually, that's a very interesting fair division problem. One time I did a lecture on origami, on basically how to design algorithms to cut and fold things. One time I did a lecture on the basics of algorithmic game theory, right? So how do we, so the game theory of course has been around for a long time, but algorithmic game theory, which is a very hot topic, especially in places like Google and eBay and other places that do auction building, requires you to think again about problems and complexity in a very different way. I've done lectures on, as you can see, there's random topics. I do all kinds of random things, just based on whatever catches my fancy. I might do a lecture on graph isomorphism, if I push comes to shove. Yes.
I like the idea of one lecture, one office hour every week.
So that's something that was having a hybrid, have one lecture but have one office hours every week. And since I have the office hours on Thursday anyway, I could do it on a Tuesday. So do the office hours on a Tuesday, have a lecture on a Thursday, so that you have some time to get at me twice a week. So is that something that people think is reasonable? Would you you could do 4 lectures, or you could do no lectures, or you could do 2, and of course these are optional. But the hope is that they're fun, right? So the hope is that you would come because they're interesting, not because you have to. And I'll try to make them more entertaining that way. I often will also announce this to the entire department, and people will often show up not from the class just because, again, the lecture is interesting enough and the abstract sounds catchy enough that they'll come. So, all right. So the proposal on the table, at least one, is have 2 lectures on Thursdays, on the 2 Thursdays, and have 2 office hours in the class time on Tuesdays. That'll be in my office. Any other proposals? Yes.
I think the lectures sound fun,
Yes.
I did too good a job advertising. This is my problem. I should have said no before. So what are you proposing?
4 lectures.
Oh, for God's sake. You're killing me here. Okay. You realize no one can be fun 4 times in a row, right?
I'm betting you have in the past.
Well, no. These lectures have been designed over the course of every given semester. I would probably teach 2 of these, not all 4. But over the years, I've mixed and matched them, and figure them out and figure out my patter and my jokes and everything. So other proposal table is 4 lectures and no office hours. I mean, no office hours except for just the one. And any other proposals? I guess we have one more proposal on the table, which would be no lectures and 4 office hours, which no one's proposing, which makes me a little bit happy. So 2 proposals. I guess, do we want to take a vote?
Okay.
People in the room? Okay, so. Sorry? Yes, but if this were a large data problem, I would do that. This is a small data problem. Okay, so 2 lectures and 2 office hours. People in favor say mozzarella. Okay, good. 1, 2, keep your hands up please, I have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Proposal 2, 4 lectures. Grumble, grumble. And just the regular office hours once, and not this Thursday, because the next 2 Thursdays. Say, Parmigiano. You can't raise your hand twice, did you? Okay, no, okay. Did you raise your hand before?
I would prefer this one, but I would be okay with you.
We have a Hamlet here. Okay, you have to choose one.
I choose this one.
So that became 14 then. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, I want 2 volunteers to come up for a death match. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry?
I'll swap my vote to make it 15 to 13.
Well, which way are you going to swap your vote?
To 4 lectures.
So you had voted for?
Thanks.
You voted for 2, you're going to make it 4? Why are you guys trying to kill me? I mean, okay.
Can I suggest that the rumble counts as 1 vote?
Sorry?
Can I suggest that the rumble votes as 1
The grumble votes is 1 for what?
for not 4 lectures?
Oh, so you're feeling pity for me, in other words.
I'd say you get.
Unfortunately, I don't get a vote here.
You get the tiebreaker.
I get the tiebreaker? Oh, don't do that to me. So he's proposing to change his vote. Are you proposing to change it? Or you should toss it and test the other way.
Make it more difficult.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, this is a
Yes.
pretty hard.
How about a new proposal of 3 lectures of 1 office?
No, not like that. Sometimes the average is not the right answer. Okay, so I don't know if I have 4 lectures to talk about. Okay, fine, we'll do 4. Okay, 4 lectures on random topics. Tell your friends or don't tell them. I don't know. Let me figure out the topics while you all are enjoying Thanksgiving. I will work hard and come up with 4 topics. No, thanks a lot. See you next Tuesday. Have a nice Thanksgiving.